Thank you, Mark. It is a wonderful setting here in the Luzhniki Stadium as the two teams wait side by side in the tunnel. And the first sight that will greet them is just hundreds of photographers wearing jade green bibs. And then they'll see the flashlights of a plethora of cameras as they make their way out. And then they will see the trophy gleaming on a humid and hot afternoon, in fact evening, here in Russia. Game kicks off 6 o'clock local time as the two teams walk out onto a playing surface that looks in splendid condition. The Croatian support away to our right, just those red and white checkered shirts. Once again they have travelled in numbers, but it's not just to the right, because there's also on the top tier over there's a large chunk as well, high up away to our left, as they stand and tower above the tricolours, the French tricolours, as we now stand for the national anthem. And first of all, it will be the national anthem of France, La Marseillaise. Has been unfurled over the heads of the Croatian supporters away to our right. I'm not too sure what it means, but what I can tell you, the last line of the national anthem, Adrian Charles told John Murray this, it says, "I'll keep battling as long as my heart keeps on beating." That was the last line of the national anthem, but hold on. Dion, did you know what that...
The banner, I'll help you out with the banner. The Croatian banner said, "If not now, when?"
If not now, when? Well, there's no end to your talents, Dion, no end. As he takes the plaudits from all around him. So we're almost ready. The team news, by the way, is quite simple because both are unchanged from their semi-final. So Lloris is in goal for France, Pavard, Umtiti, Varane, Hernandez the defence, Kante and Pogba the midfield, Matuidi to the left, but he doesn't play wide left, he tends to tuck in a little bit, Mbappe, Griezmann behind Olivier Giroud, who's yet to have a shot on target in this World Cup, and yet France are in the final. Croatia unchanged, Subasic is in goal, Vasalko, Lovren, Vida and Strinic the defence, Brozovic will be the holding midfield, Rebic, Rakitic, Modric and Perisic on the left behind Mandzukic. And yesterday in St. Petersburg, the third, fourth place playoff, both sides bizarrely wore their away kit. It's nice to see, Chris Waddle, that both sides are wearing their traditional colours, the blue of France and the red and white checkered shirts of Croatia.
Yeah, it's got the makings of a great game, and let's hope it is, and let's hope they don't cancel each other out. There's a fair chance it will happen, but there's not enough talent out there for this to be a very classic final.
One of the largest stadiums in Europe, a capacity of 81,000, the national stadium of Russia in the southwest of the city centre, and the Croatian players at the moment just embracing each other as they're getting rid of all of the paraphernalia that was out on the pitch for the pre-match ceremony, and everybody ready to take their seats. The French tricolours are still flying away to our left. We've got the red and white to the right of Croatia, and then I'm catching my eye line under the blue skies of Moscow are a splash of yellow for either Brazilians or Colombians who have remained in Russia as we're about to get underway. A case of what might have been as England arrive home. It's Croatia who now dare to dream, and what a story it would be. They would be only the second smallest nation to win a World Cup with a population of just over 4 million. That's a third of the size of Moscow. The countdown is on inside the Luzhniki Stadium. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the 2018 World Cup final is underway, and you're listening to BBC Radio 5 live here in Moscow, with Croatia playing from right to left as we look, and straight away a ball is hoisted high up towards Mandzukic, dealt with by Varane, Perisic to Rakitic on the halfway line, and then Strinic, the left back, who was forward. A little touch there for the midfielder of Brozovic, and Vida towards Modric, and everybody there. Chris Waddle's getting an early feel for the ball in these opening 30 seconds or so.
Croatia, yeah, very calm on the ball, and France pressed from the off, tried to get the ball back very quickly, went back to keeper, he passed it out. They've still got possession now. They've just just lost it now to throw it to France, but good start, Croatia.
Šrinić on this near side, the left, was pushed up. We'd noticed that Privric had been warming up. He had been a doubt. There was about 5 players who missed training on Friday, as Kante were just lifted up towards Pogba. On the stretch, couldn't get there. Brozovic towards Perisic, and on the halfway line there was Griezmann, and quickly challenged by the left back. Because I remember in the semi-final when France played Belgium, Mbappe, the first opportunity, went to run at Vertonghen, dropped his shoulder, and he was away. Šrinić is not going to give him that opportunity, as Varane just knocks it back to Lloris, the French goalkeeper, all in yellow. Modric will press high up the pitch and in fact catches Umtiti. The referee, by the way, is Nestor Pitana from Argentina. He took charge of the opening game here in the Luzhniki, Russia against Saudi Arabia. He's taking charge of the last game as well. But like you, Chris, the fourth official, Kuipers of Holland, I thought has had an excellent tournament.
I did. The tournament was lined up, but it's a bit scrappy at the minute. Umtiti took a massive risk on Modric, didn't he? Dribbling past him, which he does that quite often.
Pogba chips the ball forward. Vida comes across. Šrinić will keep the ball in play and will win a throw, as he was closed down by Mbappe. 10 goals in the last 7 World Cup finals from 1990. You can't help but feel if we want a classic, we need an early goal from a neutral's point of view.
Yeah, it's always nice to get an early goal in the final, isn't it? That sets it along. The team has to come out and start pressing, but it's Croatia's been the best side, even though we've only played, two and a bit minutes.
Just over 2 minutes played. Hernandez gets himself caught in trouble. In fact, the referee spotted a foul there and will give a free kick to France.
I think what you see already is Croatia look very relaxed. We know how they play, we've seen them enough. France have just come to terms with it. They've not settled on the ball at all. They're worried about their jobs when they haven't got the ball, but they've got to remember to play when they get it.
Mbappe lets it go out of play. It'll be a France throw that he takes it quickly back to the right back, Pavard. Oh, caught there by Perisic, and Perisic is now on the attack on the left hand side. Mandzukic is up with him. Rebic is making a run into the penalty area. Perisic tries to go it alone, and Titi comes across and then puts the ball out of play for a throw.
Very nervous here, wasn't he, Pavard? Got caught dawdling there. Perisic is away with the ball, and I still say that they're going to get joy. Croatia, it's not through the midfield, it'll be with 2 wingers.
It's an area that you highlighted. By the way, the tennis continues on 5 Live Sports Extra, but we've been building up to this game for the last hour, and that was one of the areas that Chris Waddle had identified for Croatia. From the throw on the left-hand side, it bounces away from Mandzukic. Mbappe will clear for France, who play in their blue, their two-tone blue tops, navy shorts and navy socks from left to right, against the red and white of Croatia. Vida, and now taking over is Brozovic, who just sits in front of that back 4, gets it back then from Rakitic, and he'll spread the ball out towards Lovren over on that far side on a very pleasant but humid evening in Moscow. Short of the halfway line, Lovren on the ground back towards Vida. Patient play by Croatia. Rakitic short of the halfway line, diagonal ball out towards Rebic, bounces off his chest, brings it under control, looks for the run from Vrsaljko. He's still got it as Rebic. He'll slip it forward towards the right back. Will he keep the ball in play? Yes, he will. In with a cross, and there was Varane to head the ball away. Croatia have made an excellent start.
Brilliant start, and you've got to say both wide men again. The 2 full-backs for France. Definitely the weak link.
Modric, right hand side. Vrsaljko stays with him. But France then dispossess the Croatian right back, and Kante deep inside his own half, right-footed ball up toward Giroud, challenged by Lovren. Vida covering, takes no chances, all the way back he goes to Subasic, the Croatian goalkeeper. By the way, you can watch and listen to 5 Live. You can watch the pitches on BBC television by pressing the red button. You can then listen to the 5 Live commentary. I'm sure the same will apply to the BBC Sport website. Just click on Watch with 5 Live to this World Cup final here in Russia, as Kante back to Umtiti and closed down by Mandzukic. We've got not only Chris Waddle, we've heard from Dion Dublin as well. Sir Trevor Brooking is part of our commentary team. What have you made about the early start from Croatia, Sir Trevor?
Well, Croatia have been excellent. They're pressing, they're pushing. France are a little bit uncomfortable. They hadn't got the time on the ball that they were expecting. And interesting then when Croatia get it defensively, certainly Giroud and Griezmann have sort of held off, so you can have it there. So there's 2 contrasting styles, but certainly if I was a fan of Croatia, I'd be absolutely delighted to see how they've started.
5 minutes played, it's 0-0. The noise is being generated mainly from the end away to our right by the Croatian supporters. They are the 13th different nation to reach their first World Cup final. The last two debutants have both won it. France in 98 and Spain in 2010. France, though, are yet to get going. Kante. Pogba inside his own half, playing from left to right just outside the centre circle. Pavard on the halfway line. He goes back rather than forward. Varane to Umtiti. And midway through his own half, out to Kante. Ball played forward. Hernandez was quite high up the pitch, but it went away from him and out for a throw. They don't seem to have settled.
France cannot settle at the moment. I think they're worried about Croatia. Who's picking who up? Who's closing who down? They're not pressing anywhere really over the park. They just can't put three passes together. Give them three kick away there, Kante. But now the game plan obviously they've worked on is stopping them playing slightly. But as I said before, you've got to play when you get the ball. In France, or not, they're just thinking about when they haven't got the ball.
Here is Modric, just plays it inside. Brozovic in front of that back four, back towards Modric. Vasalko is currently marked on that right-hand side. Back to Brozovic. Very confident start, though, this by Croatia, as Rakitic now will come forward on this near side, and he's over the halfway line. Strinic controls the ball out in front of him, an opportunity maybe to cross. No, he runs with it instead. Pogba looks to close him down, but it will be a Croatia throw, and they don't look fazed at all by the occasion.
Well, you've got to think, Ian, if you look at the ages, you know, there are a lot of size there, players 30 or plus. Brozovic, Lovren's nearly 30, Vida's nearly 30, so, you know, the right back's 26, but the rest of them, but there's a lot of this team very, very experienced.
Rakitic to Strinic into the penalty area and quickly closed down by Mbappe, and it goes behind for a corner kick, and it needed that run by Mbappe because they'd worked it the way around the back.
Very good again, they're getting around the back of this French defence, and Mbappe falling asleep. Sometimes you've got to do that defensive side. I know we don't like it, but sometimes you have to.
In fact, 7 in the squad of Croatia are 30 or above in terms of age. Corner kick, near side the left, Modric to take it. Not much of a run up from Modric. Two players made a run to come short, Brozovic and Rebic. Now he'll back away again, Modric to take the corner kick. Vida's up there, Lovren also from the back. Mandzukic is also a natural target as it's actually headed away by Olivier Giroud in front of Hugo Lloris. Kante will go across towards that far side, but once again Croatia pressing.
Great tempo by Croatia. France have got up the tempo. They could be punished.
Rakitic with a cross from the right hand side. Perisic had made the run, good covering by the right back Pavard. Pogba now looking to turn, 360 degree turn, and caught by Rebic, and that's the type of thing that Rebic is capable of.
Yeah, well, he's warned there. Look, the referee's just gone over to him and said, that's your chance. Then I can guarantee you he will do another one.
Just a little bit overzealous. Dion Dublin, what have you made so far of this game?
What stuck out for me, Deno, is the Rakitic crossfield pass, which he played one of those for the last game against Vasalko. Perisic scores. They like a crossfield ball. France have got to be careful. Don't let him start to dictate this game.
I'll tell you what they've also got to be careful of is that the diagonal ball that Dion's talking about, but Perisic, when he makes those diagonal runs coming in off the left-hand side, similar to how he scored against England for the equaliser.
Full of confidence, Croatia. Everybody thought they'd be tired. That's why I thought France would have started very quick and given the 20 minutes where you thought, can you live with this tempo after all the hard games you've had? But they're playing into Croatia's hands. They're not pressing, they're letting them do what they want, and they're growing in confidence.
Ball played up towards Mandzukic, and Titi goes with him, leans into the back of him and through towards Subasic, the Monaco goalkeeper. And there was a bit of a curse regarding Monaco goalkeepers. The last 3 goalkeepers just break off because Rakitic to Modric. Modric midway through the France half. Good ball out to Strinic, the left back, level the penalty area, takes it on a little bit. Pavard back pedals. Perisic into the penalty box, just coming out by Umtiti. But the last 3 goalkeepers to lose a World Cup final have all been playing for Monaco at that time. Fabien Barthez, 2006, Stecklenburg, 2010, Sergio Romero at the last World Cup. Be aware of the curse of the Monaco
Well,
keeper.
there you go. That's it, France have won.
It's his 4th major finals, is Subasic. The 33-year-old keeper recently just signed a 3-year deal with Monaco, where he's been since 2012. BBC Radio 5 Live, we're live inside the Luzhniki. It's France 0, Croatia 0. But Croatia have been the better team. Modric Brozovic over the halfway line, right at the centre circle. 62% in terms of possession. Rakitic is forward, Strinic is alongside him, a left-footed ball over the top. Perisic tries to bring it down, just goes away off his left foot and out for a goal kick.
I'm really surprised Didier Deschamps not being out. He's come out now as we speak, but he surely can't be happy. I know he's got a game plan and it'll probably be counter-attack. That's what he's lined up as today for me, but you've still got to put a shift in when they get over the halfway line. You've got to get that ball back a lot quicker. You're letting them do exactly what you want.
And not only are you listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, but we also welcome listeners across the BBC World Service in Africa to the Luzhniki Stadium here in Moscow for this 2018 World Cup final. And we'll also be keeping you abreast of the men's singles final at Wimbledon, where Djokovic has won the first two sets 6-2 against Kevin Anderson. Commentary of that is on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. France at the moment have a throw, level with the penalty area on that far side, the left, as they play from left to right in their blue. Not much movement, and easily dealt with by Croatia. Pogba, though, will go back to Umtiti on the halfway line, and here is Varane inside the centre circle. Pavard makes himself available on the right, quickly closed down by Perisic, a number of players who missed training on Friday. Perisic is constantly, it seems, being linked with Manchester United. But because of him and his presence, he's forced France to go back. A very, very conservative start by the French.
I'm surprised, really. I thought they'd really come out of the blocks quick and it's a final and thought stamp their authority on the game, and they've just second best all over the park.
Modric thought he might have just been clipped there by Kanté as he tried to slip away, but the referee said not. The referee from Argentina, and France now with Umtiti. Varane, who's had an excellent tournament, out to Mbappe. First touch let him down, and then Perisic couldn't keep the ball in play. That was the first time where Strinic has actually just given him a little bit of room, but it was interesting that Perisic then quickly closed him down.
There's a lot of where can you go when you get a ball like that? They've moved it across so slow. All the red shirts and red and white shirts are moving across where there's no space.
Ball swept forward towards Olivier Giroud, and it unable to bring it under control. It was always going away from him and out for a goal kick. Yet to have a shot on target, which is a remarkable statistic for Olivier Giroud. At the start of kick-off, he'd gone 8 hours and 22 minutes without a goal since he last scored against Ireland at the end of May. But when you think they won the World Cup in '98, Dugarry scored 1 goal. Stefan Guivarch didn't even score at all. And now he's a swimming pool salesman in Brittany, watching on, no doubt, as France are in their 3rd World Cup final. But Croatia have been dominating these early exchanges. Rebic on the right-hand side. Vasalko comes on the overlap, but that's an ambitious ball. And it goes through for a goal kick, 0-0.
The movement's here, isn't it? Croatia at the minute playing very much as a team. Great tempo about them. They all look very confident in possession. And I've got to say, France, for all it's only coming up to 40 minutes, have been very poor.
Hugo Lloris earning his 104th cap. So the 6th centurion in the history of French football, but actually overtaking his manager Didier Deschamps, who picked up 103 caps in his successful career, and hoping, of course, to become the 3rd person to win the World Cup as a player and a manager. Zagallo and Beckenbauer are the other 2. Rakitic heads it forward. Perisic has room to run into. Left-hand side, Croatia on the attack. Perisic into the penalty area. Rebic was the player he was looking for, and out of play it goes for a throw.
Well, if you think some players free, he's definitely Pavard, the right back, has already. Perisic, they should just keep getting this ball out this left-hand side. He's either going for balls he shouldn't be, he's not putting a name on it, he looks like he's froze already.
We've been playing for 15 minutes on BBC Radio 5 Live. France 0, Croatia 0. Croatia have dominated the opening quarter of an hour, yet to really fashion an opportunity, though, despite all of their possession. At 59% it currently stands. Vasalko to Lovren. But at the minute, we've just seen France just trying to contain Croatia.
Well, we've seen them do this a few times in the tournament. You know, they're quite happy to sit back. Oh, somebody's gone off the ball. Collision.
It's Rebic who's gone down.
Anything could have happened there.
He's gone down holding his face. Oh, it's Perisic, in fact, who's on the right-hand side. So, in fact, they've actually swapped.
Yeah, they did that against England a couple of times.
So Perisic started out on the left. He's now switched to the right. Rebic is on this near side. There's Modric, who Mbappe just seemed to just go, was there any contact at all?
Well,
Went down holding his
somebody pulled the turf away, I think.
Modric, forward, stopped by Hernandez. France now with Pogba just outside the centre circle, across towards this right-hand side for Mbappe. Pavard's gone ahead of him, tried the little back heel, didn't quite come off. He picked up that loose ball towards Varane. Infield now to Kante, midway through the French half as they play from left to right on BBC Radio 5 Live. Kante looks for a ball over the top, Mbappe's making the run. Strunic's header will be picked up by Giroud from the left back of Croatia. Giroud has Rakitic sliding in. He's helped out now by Rebic on this left-hand side, and between a combination of Rakitic, Rebic and Strinic, they've dealt with that. Then they've given the ball away to Varane on the halfway line, and Varane will play the ball out towards Hernandez, the left back. Matuidi is to the left touchline. He goes high to the edge of the area towards Giroud. Griezmann, who we've hardly mentioned, heads the ball now to Mbappe. Mbappe looks to go on the outside of Strinic. He's into the penalty area. The cutback couldn't quite reach Griezmann. It ran off the legs of Rakitic, and Croatia have cleared. Hasn't gone out of play. Mbappe, right-hand side, challenged by Perisic along the ground. Now Croatia can't get out of their own half. Griezmann, fouled by Brozovic. Free kick.
It is a foul. That's the first time we saw Mbappe in the game, and that's what he's got, isn't he? He doesn't have to do a trick. He's got the pace on Strinic. Just has to brace him up, push it to the side, as we saw there. All right, the cross wasn't the best, and he struggled to get in the game a bit, but that really wasn't a free kick. We just saw a replay of that. Brozovic pulls away from the challenge. Griezmann goes to ground. It's a soft free kick. The referee's bought it.
So Griezmann is going to take this. It's about 15 yards in from the right touchline. You're looking at 10 yards outside the penalty area. It's right of centre. BBC Radio 5 Live with the World Cup final. France 0, Croatia 0. Varane is up from the back. There's Pogba in there, Mbappe, Titi. Croatia have, I was going to say a two-man wall, but they're not necessarily standing together at the moment. Modric, I think Brozovic is more concerned with Pavard, who lurks on the right corner of the penalty area. Griezmann goes in, headed in!
Goal.
France take the lead in the 2018 World Cup final. Flighted over, and it last touch came off Mandzukic, and France totally against the run of play score first, and Croatia once again concede first in the knockout stages. France 1, Croatia 0.
That could have been an offside, you know. Is it? No, I don't think it is. It could have been when you threw it from the different angle we saw, but it's a good ball in, but really they should deal with that. No, the keeper's got no chance. Straight in the top corner, but it's against the run of play, but we keep saying this is the tournament of set pieces.
It's remarkable, Dion Dublin. Well, Trevor, first of all, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm so annoyed because, I mean, it was never ever a free kick. Griezmann absolutely hardly got touched, went down, bought the free kick. It's in a perfect position, level 10 yards away from the corner of the 18-yard box where he's curled 2 or 3 of the goals that they've scored previously. It's just got a touch on Mandzukic's back header, but I am so annoyed that he's actually cheated to get the free kick. Dion?
No, agreed. It wasn't a free kick, but the free kick he put in, he wasn't looking to find anybody. He just wants to put it into a dangerous area, and when you do that, anything can happen. It was an own goal. It came in off Mandzukic's head, and they're 1-up, having been not in the game.
And Dion, I mean, you read the Croatian banner. You've seen Croatia a lot in this competition. In all of the knockout matches now, they've conceded first.
Yeah, they have. Lapse in concentration, just that little bit of quality, just caught them off guard. They've been excellent, Croatia, absolutely excellent.
But France against the run of play, lead by a goal to 0. 20 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live.
Well, there's a free kick here on Kante against Modric. I don't know if this was a free kick, but the referees give this one as well. But going back to the free kick, how many teams have we seen defend deep on free kicks like that? Not many. Most of them get right up to the 18-yard box and say, well, if you're going to put it in behind, it's got to be a good ball. They defended very, very deep there, and that encouraged the ball in.
Well, it's actually now raining here in Moscow. We've got a patch of blue sky. Thunderstorms were forecast for this afternoon and this evening. And it's raining on the Croatian parade as they trail by a 0-0. However, they got an early chance for a riposte here with a free kick level the penalty area, right hand side. BBC Radio 5 Live, where France are 1-0 up. Modric waits to take it. Rebic is in there, Lovren, Perisic, Mandzukic and Vida. They're their 5 red and white shirts to aim for. Modric now delivers it. Vida with a header. Always going over the top of the crossbar. France 1-0.
Yeah, just probably a little bit flat on the cross, wasn't it? Vida had to do a lot to direct on the target. Was slightly behind him. Maybe could have done with a little bit more height on it. He's basically pulling away when he heads it, so it was always going high. But you feel sorry for a little bit by Croatia. They've been the best side by far, but that's football.
So France are 1-0 up. And certainly will help them settle now, because they hadn't at all played with any rhythm in this first half, Chris.
No, they haven't. They've struggled, haven't they? It's all been about how to stop Croatia, and they haven't really done that very well. Maybe they'll say they haven't had a shot on goal, but Croatia's dominated the play, and they seem to have a better shape about them. But France have got one up, and there'll be no rush now, and they'll sit and play for the counter-attack and wait for the opportunity again if they're going to get a second.
France, who were the overwhelming favourites for this game. It was whoever would have progressed out of that semi-final on Tuesday night at St. Petersburg was always going to be, whether it be against Croatia or England. But Croatia, as the ball is stopped playing, the referee's blown his whistle. France are on the break. Mbappe into the penalty area. Excellent sliding challenge by Vida on the edge of the centre circle, and it needed that intervention because Mbappe was away. Now Rakitic has carried the ball forward on this left-hand side. We're midway through the first half. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. If you want the tennis, that's on 5 Live Sports Extra. You can also listen and watch through the red button to our coverage on 5 Live. France 1, Croatia 0, and to take you through to half-time is our football correspondent John Murray.
Thanks, Ian, and you're absolutely right, Chris. If Vida hadn't made that sliding challenge there, Mbappe and Griezmann were going to be all over them.
They were, and there's one thing you don't want, Mbappe running down on goal. We saw what he's done in this tournament already.
So it's a free kick, halfway inside the French half. On the left wing, France leading Croatia in the World Cup final by 1-0. Modric to strike this in, right-footed, which he does, and it's punched away securely and firmly by the Tottenham goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, the French captain. And then Mbappe, with a little run in field, claimed he was fouled. It's not been given. Perisic just played it out to Mandzukic on the right hand side. Mandzukic flights over the cross, and Rakitic hits the volley, but he was stretching for it, and he has hit it way wide. And it's a goal kick to the French, who lead by 1-0.
Well, they're not happy. We're getting the benefit of a replay here, obviously. Look, Giroud's been tripped up by Lovren, and City's been pulled down to the ground by Mandzukic. But there was a free kick, and Mbappe got brought down in the middle of the park. He didn't bring the game back. They played advantage, which obviously the French players are not happy with.
So it is France 1, Croatia 0. This is the World Cup final, live from Moscow, inside the massive circular bowl of the Luzhniki Stadium, the national stadium, which has been superbly rebuilt for this World Cup. We're just 2 or 3 goal kicks away from the Moscow River itself, and we're watching France leading through that unfortunate own goal. And as Dion Dublin, Trevor Brooking, Chris Waddle alongside us for the commentary have said, should never have been given as a free kick.
No, give Griezmann credit. Modern day, that's the way players go. They like to, we've saw a lot of it in this competition, let's be honest, a lot of diving, and he saw the challenge coming, and the referee bought it. Simple as that. But I was surprised how deeply defended, John, to be honest.
Yeah, France therefore have edged ahead in their bid to win the World Cup for the second time. The first time 20 years ago. Kylian Mbappe wasn't even born when they won the World Cup back in 1998. He was born in the December. Here's Vida, who heads the ball away on the edge of the Croatian penalty area, plays it out to the right hand side. Vrsaljko there hits a long ball downfield. Croatia started so well in the game that obviously conceding the goal a real blow, but as Ian Dennis said, they're used to it. They've been behind in all 3 of the knockout matches so far in this World Cup, so make it 4, and they've had the resolve, they've had the experience and character to come back and win in all 3, even though 2 of them went to penalties.
Yeah, I think this is their hardest game now, and I think no disrespect the opposition they've played, they've had some hard teams. I'm not saying France are the best side they've played in this tournament so far.
And we'd be expecting now, Chris, France
to control the game, to try and control the game.
They'll slow it down when they have to. They'll try and manage the game. They'll play counter-attack, and I've got to say Mbappe has had one run. He's been very disappointing so far. He's lost the ball every time he's had it.
So a throw in. Lucas Hernandez is going to take this. The French number 21, Lucas Hernandez of Atletico Madrid. He started all of the matches. Ball though is lost by France, and then it's played up the right hand side but straight out of play, and clearly conceding the goal has rocked Croatia. They're going to have to dig deep, and France have a throw in, and they're in absolutely no hurry here, France, having scored the goal in the 18th minute. All manner of the great and good are here. We have seen a shot for the first time on our screens of Vladimir Putin, who's sitting in a white shirt and a red tie alongside the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. France with Mbappe, plays the ball in field. Pavard tried to play it back down the right wing, but Mbappe had been ushered off the field by the left back Strinic, so wasn't able to get there. And Croatia, in these mainly white shirts with the red check front, now break forward from the halfway line. Perisic was cutting across. Kante, who caught his heels, fouled him. It's a free kick, left of centre in the French half, and it's a yellow card for Kante.
Yeah, Perisic, he's unlucky, Kante, to be fair. Perisic runs across the lane where Kante's coming behind him, crossing the lane. He just accidentally catches his calf, knocks it onto his other calf, and they fall over. I wouldn't say it was a yard, but you could see because it was 3-on-2, that's why he's given it.
Certainly a contender for the player of this World Cup, N'Golo Kante. He's an ever-present in all of France's matches here. But they've got a free kick, and we know they can be effective from set pieces. Mind you, they've conceded another goal from a set piece. Croatia, that is 5 of the 6 goals conceded from set pieces. But here they have one. Rakitic runs over the ball, and Modric then plays it in towards the back post, where it's nodded back across into the penalty area. Pogba on the stretch, still bouncing in the area. Vida back to Perisic, left foot, shoots and scores, and it's 1-1. That's brilliantly finished for Croatia from Perisic. They've responded to going a goal down in their first ever World Cup final, and it's back level, 1-1.
Wow, what a goal that is, by the way. Well worked free kick. They all went early, and they thought, well, the offside. Sacco comes round the back, heads it back across the goal. Bit of scramble, to be fair. France should have dealt with it a lot better. They all switch up as the ball comes back into the box. There's a bit of presence in there, but nothing great. We'll give Perisic credit as it comes to him. Off the right foot, takes it left foot across Lloris, 15 yards out. Absolutely no chance. Great goal.
He scored in the semi-final against England to make it 1-1, and here he's driven it from an angle with his left foot from 15 yards or more. Lloris diving to his left. It was past him before he knew it really, and it's 1-1. Trevor Brooking, Dion Dublin.
Oh, it's a great strike. I mean, they worked it well. About 5 of them almost run into the offside position. They went to the back post, nodded it a couple of times, and it ended up near Perisic, near the edge of the penalty area. Interesting one was the person who closed him down was Kante, had just been booked, so he was really conscious not to make a dodgy challenge. Perisic just moved it a yard or two to his left and hit a real screaming low shot that they had no chance, and they're back in the game. Very, very important, I think, to get back that early. I say relatively early, 10 and 11 minutes since they went behind.
The most disappointing thing for France there, Sir Trev, was there was 3 headers in the box and Croatia won all of them. That's the disappointing thing. Terrible defending.
So it's France 1, Croatia 1 here in Moscow, and there have been some great contests at this Wimbledon. That clearly was not one of them. I believe that Goran Ivanisevic is here inside the stadium. He is watching, presumably absolutely thrilled that Croatia are back on level terms in this game, Chris.
Well, you've got to say, John, they've deserved it, haven't they? Let's be honest, since the start of the game they've been the better side. France got really a goal from a set piece, which they didn't really deserve, but Croatia's been very positive the way they've come out the blocks, passed it really well, good tempo about them, they've asked questions down the flanks, so I think they definitely deserved that equaliser.
That's Perisic's 3rd goal at this World Cup, and it means that it is France 1, Croatia 1. With the skies darkening again overhead, we have had a short, sharp shower, so the service will be a little greasy as Rakitic of Barcelona runs the ball away. Mandzukic of Juventus has a little touch, then Rakitic forward with his right foot, The goal scorer Perisic will struggle to get to that. In fact, as he does so, he bundles over Hernandez, and it's a free kick to France in their own left back position.
Did he just give a throw in? I think he just give a throw in there. I don't think he's given a free kick.
Well, it's debatable. It's only a throw in. France 1, Croatia 1. Yes, up in the posh seats, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, is there. Mrs. Macron has come from this one as well, Chris. Brigitte. I saw pictures of them walking into the ground hand in hand. And the colourful president of Croatia is here again. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic is sitting up there, probably not far away from the Macrons. We haven't seen a shot of her since the start of the match. I'm not sure if she's in full kit again today. France 1, Croatia 1. Clearance from Subasic, all in green down to our right, and the ball's headed out of play for a throw-in to Croatia. The mainly white shirt with the red trim over the shoulders and the red and white checks on the front, and France in their first choice kit, the stylish dark blue of Les Bleus. Here's Modric now to the right hand side to Versalco, and then back again to Modric with his lank fair hair up towards Mandzukic, who heads it off towards the right hand side. Mandzukic making ground into the penalty area, but the cross is far too close to Loris.
Well, it's what you're looking at, one team who's thoroughly relaxed and enjoying the occasion. You look at the other team who are scared, very, very scared.
Long clearance downfield from Loris, and Vida running across to his left with Mbappe there, just stretched for it and headed it straight behind for a corner.
It's a great out ball, isn't it? If they're still on the halfway line, the centre circle, out of his hands, straight over the top, you know he's going to catch it.
So we've had 2 goals already from set pieces in this World Cup final, and it is a corner to the French, their first corner of the match. Griezmann has come across to take it, and the French big men are now arriving. Umtiti and Varane, and they're doing in England here. We've seen it's a French conga now near the penalty spot. Griezmann waiting to take this, left-footed in swinger. Referee Pitana is just 1 or 2 words with Mbappe, who's close to Subasic. So, corner to France. Griezmann into the 6-yard box, a glancing header wider than the near post.
Handball.
And there are shouts for handball in there. It was Matuidi who got the touch for France, and they are imploring referee Pitana to ask the video assistant referee about this. And he's putting his hand to his ear, so there's clearly a conversation going on. We're now seeing it, Chris. Well, it's glanced. Whether it gets a touch off Matuidi or not, I'm not sure. Yes, it does. Perisic's arm is
it's a handball.
Is out to the left of his body at an angle.
Oh, it's a handball. I don't think the referee will be brave enough.
But the contact is so close from Matuidi, who's just in front of Perisic.
You've got to appeal for it, though, haven't you? Got to.
Well, the conversation has gone on. What do you two think? What do you two think, Dion, Trevor?
I wouldn't give it. I think he got a slight header and it just hit Perisic, and he's gone to have a look at it. He's going to be called across to judge it. I think they'd be unlucky to give the pen.
We've now seen on the screen, Dion, here that is telling us possible penalty, handball, and so therefore they want the referee to come and have a look at this and to see if his instinct, to see if he had the clear view, and if he now, on seeing it again, will change his mind and feel that this is a handball and it's a penalty. So one of the big issues at this World Cup was that we were using the video assistant referee for the first time, and here we are now in the World Cup final itself, and a big decision now has been referred to the video assistant referee. The Argentine ref, Néstor Pitana, is looking inside his little perspex area at the screen, which is showing him the replays. He's in discussions, we can see that on our pictures here. He's in discussions with his team, the video assistant referee, who is the Italian Massimiliano Irrati. And what is he going to do? He's walking, oh no, he's having another look. He walked away, and then he suddenly turned back to the screen, and they are still talking about it. And now, here he is, walking away. What is he going to do? And he is running, and he's giving a penalty. He's giving a penalty to France. With the aid of the video assistant referee, a penalty has been given to France for handball.
Well, I've got to say, I know Trevor might say no and Dion might say no, but at the end of the day, I mean, his hands are down by his side slightly, but I would have given it. I know they'll not, but I would have. So,
Dion?
No, it is. It's a handball. It's hit his hand, clearly hit his hand, and you can always tell if he's guilty or not guilty by the reaction of your opponent. There was 8, maybe 7 or 8 blue shirts there, and every single France player put their hand up as to say handball, handball, handball. When you are appealing like that, you often get it. They knew it hit his hand.
I don't like this, John, when they get round the ref.
This
He's
is
not going to change
interesting
his
now.
mind.
Down there in the penalty area now. Look, he's made the decision. He's consulted the video assistant referee. It's been a lengthy process. The decision has been made, and the Croatia players are complaining about it, and they gathered around him. And once again at this World Cup, we are seeing a long delay before a penalty's taken. Now this is interesting because Griezmann has already scored with 2 penalties at this World Cup, and here he's going to face one of the penalty-saving spectacular goalkeepers of this World Cup in Daniel Subasic of Monaco, who will not retreat to his line.
Why doesn't he get his card out? Look.
And now finally he walks back, and he actually walks into the goal, Subasic. And still there are Croatia players inside the box, and Subasic has walked off his line again towards the penalty spot. And referee Pitana is saying to him, go back to your line, and he's actually walking with him back to the goal line, and he's telling him, stay there. Right, we're ready now. This to put France back in front in the World Cup final. The referee, final instructions to the players to stay out of the penalty area. So it's the left foot of Antoine Griezmann to put France back in front. Here he comes, and he sends goalkeeper Subasic the wrong way. It's Griezmann's 4th goal at this World Cup, and he peels away and is joined by his teammates, and there's a celebration actually in front of the Croatia supporters at their end of the ground. But it is France 2, Croatia 1.
Brilliant pen, got to say, brilliant. He is great at him, you've got to say, Griezmann. He just jogs up, watches the keeper, never panics, just side foots it straight past him, other side. Great pen, that calm, really cool. Jogs up, left foot, brilliant.
Doesn't surprise me, that's what he does. Calm as you like. We've seen the penalty now, but before that we've seen the handball again. It's harsh on Croatia, but it's a handball. You've got to give it.
Trevor?
Well, he took the pen well, composed, waited for the keeper to go and just stroked it in the other corner. I wouldn't think it was a pen. Matuidi got a touch to it, and that's deflected it, and he's hit his arm. Yeah, and his hand is a little bit away from the body, but he couldn't get it out of the way. And I just think, well, if that ends up winning the World Cup, that's going to be a travesty, really. And the other thing that I'm sure they'll think back at is Vida, where the long kick downfield, he back-headed it to give the corner.
However, here comes Croatia. Perisic with the cross, and near the penalty spot, Rebic, he miskicked. He mishit it near the penalty spot, and it was deflected into the path of Lloris, who was able to pick up.
Well, again, getting down the flanks, behind the full-backs, great early ball in. You've got to say, you feel for Croatia. Griezmann free kick, which wasn't. The pen people can argue and debate all about. Yes, Mbappe have not seen.
Mbappe now off on the right wing, and he's away. He's away from both Strinic and Perisic. He crosses into the penalty area. Brozovic, and Croatia can't get it away, and finally Brozovic is able to whack it upfield towards Rebic, who's chasing it and might have been caught there by Hernandez. Well, the free kick's been given.
No, he's getting his card. The referee's lost the plot.
Yellow card for Hernandez. So Croatia have a good right to feel hard done to here. 2-1 down, and they've conceded from an own goal and a controversial penalty call, which has split our team here as to whether it should have been given or not. But the video assistant referees have looked at it. The referee himself went and checked it again. The penalty was given. So it is 2-1 to France. BBC Radio 5 Live. You can listen via the BBC Sport app as well. The BBC World Service across Africa are with us too, so great to have you with us for the World Cup final. TSN in Canada as well, and also you can listen, because the game is live on BBC television. If you would like to, if you're on your way home, when you get there, you can continue to listen to our 5 Live commentary if you press the red button and follow the instructions. I know it can be a little tricky to find if you're not technically savvy, as I know some people aren't, but if you are persistent, you will find it. France leading Croatia by 2-1. And when Griezmann scored that penalty, there were flashes of lightning and thunderclaps going on around the stadium here. And it certainly does feel fresher, doesn't it now? A little fresher.
A little bit.
Throw into France, level with the edge of their own penalty area. So lots to discuss at half-time with Mark Chapman, who's here with us. Croatia with Modric. Little ball infield, Rakitic taking it on. Pogba tracked the run. The ball ran away and it's played forward by Pavard. Vida was always the favourite to get there, even though it was Mbappe.
I've got to say, just got to keep playing the way they are, Croatia. And obviously, don't leave Mbappe on his own, which they have a couple of times in the last 10 minutes. But apart from that, they've been the best team. They've played the best football. And they'll feel very, very unlucky that they're 2-1 down in this World Cup final.
Yeah, and we know that this Croatia team, it's got a steely core, as England found out in the semi-final. And here they are winning the ball back over on near the halfway line. Mandzukic was challenged initially, and I think the referee's brought it back for a foul on Mandzukic on the far side, shoved over by Umtiti. So it's a free kick out towards the right-hand side. The score, France 2, Croatia 1. Griezmann's now done a Harry Kane. He scored 3 penalties at this World Cup, and he has 4 goals. So 2 behind Harry Kane. All of the various awards will be handed out before the World Cup itself after the final here inside the Luzhniki. Free kick then as half-time approaches. Just over 2 minutes of the first 45 to play. Modric to deliver this in, which he does towards the back post, and it's headed by Perisic. It took a deflection. Pavard headed it away, and it's driven back in by Lovren, who was up for the set piece, hit a French defender, and then deflected crazily behind for a corner.
They've struggled, France, with set pieces. It's the first time we've saw in the tournament where they're all over the place here. Pavard heads it anywhere, and Lovren lashes this off Pogba and out for a corner.
Rakitic to take it from the left-hand side as Croatia attack from right to left as well, looking in the direction of Les Bleus. The French supporters twirling their tricolours. Rakitic takes this in. There's a glance on. It's come off a defender, but actually it deflected back from where it came out towards the corner flag. Suffered from an optical illusion there. I thought it was flying into the net. It was nowhere near. It's another corner. Rakitic, second consecutive corner into the near post. Defenders collide, attackers and defenders collide, and then the ball drops down, and it's thundered away by Varane towards the halfway line. Sent back out towards Rakitic, who leaps, heads it back in field. There's a French player down inside the box. Rebic is trying to take it into the area. He's blocked by Pogba, and then it bounces behind, and the referee's got to walk across and see how Umtiti is. He's the French player who is down.
Well, he's had a lot of trouble with his knee in this tournament. Every time he goes into any challenge, he seems to hold it. It's not a penalty, it's not a foul. Lovren he's went with the ball, but he's landed on his knee, and
Lovren, I think, landed on him.
Yeah. So
as they challenge for the aerial ball. So we've got a stoppage here. France 2, Croatia 1. Let's get further thoughts from our other England internationals who are with us here at the World Cup final, Dion Dublin and Trevor Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think what he's done there, I think he's just got a nudge in the back, and he's fell funnily on his left knee, but the worrying thing is he hasn't actually moved, and he looks in a lot of pain. They're trying to move it now. Hopefully he'll be okay. But you know what, Croatia, I'm with the waddler there. Croatia are slightly unfortunate to be behind, but the referee's got to help them out a little bit, especially with the free kick that you mentioned, Trevor, with who was it, on Modric? No, it was on the Griezmann one. The Griezmann one there. When he get a touch.
Yeah.
That you've got to see that. There was no touch at all. I don't like that at all. I class that as cheating. They're lucky at the moment, France. Very lucky to be in the situation they are. But Croatia won't go away, John. They will not go away. They will still fight. They will still battle. They'll still be in their faces.
This has been given as a corner. Rakitic is taking it. It's glanced across the face of goal and wide by Vida, the central defender.
They've looked very threatening from set pieces, Croatia, haven't they? They've worked on a few, I think, because they weren't like this against England when I saw them. They just put it in the box, but they seem to have been working on them, whether they've saw weakness in the French defence from set pieces, but they've looked very threatening.
France 2, Croatia 1. If you've just got back into your car back home, there's a massive thunderclap overhead and lightning still flashing. 3 minutes of added time we're into at the end of the first half. Back in London at Wimbledon, Novak Djokovic with a very comfortable victory, straight sets over Kevin Anderson. We'll have more on that at half-time in this game. Also the Scottish Open continuing to unfold. We'll have more on that and the Tour de France as well, I'm sure, on yet another busy sporting Sunday afternoon. But here, the biggest game of football that you could possibly see is being won by the French, who are going for their second World Cup triumph. Perisic playing it forward, Mandzukic tries to chest it forward, and Titi is back on the field, by the way, and I guess they'll have another look at him at half-time, but he seems okay.
He's had it every game, John, I've seen it. I don't know if he's got a problem with his medial ligament. Sometimes when you kick the ball wrong, it sometimes moves it, and it does ache for a few minutes, but
Lloris launches the one downfield. Giroud hits him on the knee and bounces wickedly away, nowhere near anyone in a blue shirt, and Croatia have possession with Vrsaljko, who I think himself is being nursed through the latter stages of this World Cup. The Croatia right back from Atletico Madrid. He has had a bit of a knee problem. Here is Vida with his limp, fine ponytail. Now Vrsaljko, but towards the halfway line where it bounces for France and will be taken forward from the central area. No, attempted pass for Mbappe, but it was overhit by a distance and whizzed away through for a goal kick. Hernandez with the pass. And a number of people have come to the World Cup final with whistles, it seems, and are intent on blowing them. So it's not half-time yet. It was somebody in the crowd. Here's Modric. Modric bundled over by Matuidi. That's a free kick. Modric wanted to take it quickly. Matuidi got in the way of that. And now Modric does take it. And Brozovic plays it to the right-hand side. And here's the cross into the 6-yard box. And there was hesitation there. And no one got a touch. And Perisic, who was closest to it for Croatia, races after it, keeps it in. And then Strinic concedes a foul.
Well, that should be a yellow. Strinic there just he sees Mbappe get the other side, he thinks no chance, you know. And look, Messi in the benefit. That's a yellow, right? Look, I'll tell you what, Croatia have done brilliant. Some of the balls have put in the box, absolute quality. Doesn't matter how good you are as a defender, they're difficult to defend against.
So therefore, there's plenty of hope for Croatia.
Oh, listen, Croatia will go and can't feel sorry. They'll say, look, you're the best team, by far the best team. France haven't turned up for all the 2-1 up. They haven't. What are France showing? Nothing.
So what a dramatic scene we have here. There's a thunderstorm, lightning and thunder rolling across the Russian capital. The World Cup final has reached halfway. Certainly plenty of discussion points. France 2-1 up, Mandzukic own goal and an Antoine Griezmann penalty, which was given after a lengthy process. The referee consulting VAR. It was given for handball against Perisic after it was glanced onto him by Matuidi, and in between times Ivan Perisic scored a very good goal with his left foot. So half-time here in Moscow, France leading Croatia by 2-1. Do
you know the penalty, the controversial penalty that has split the commentary team here? Do you know where we would all be in unison? Is that this guy who's sat behind Sir Trevor Brooking, right, he's a French commentator, and I know it's a hot evening, I get that, but his shirt is unbuttoned all the way down to his belly button. Seriously, if you look behind you, it'll put you off your evening meal. There are standards in a press box. I mean, I've seen many journalists wearing the national shirt of their team, but that's going beyond. Anyway, and you thought it was bad working with me, Mark Chapman. I'd never do that. Probably a good job either, although I'm not as portly as he is. Anyway, we're back underway. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. This is the World Cup final here in the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. I think the thunderstorm is still rumbling on above the stadium. There is an ominous cloud high up away to our right-hand side. Neither side has made a change as France lead Croatia by 2-1. So France in the blue are playing from right to left as we look against the red and white of Croatia, with the checks on the front of their shirts, and they're looking to come from behind for a second time. And straight away Vrsaljko wins the ball, and Modric now to Rakitic, switches it back out to Rebic. Rebic now will come forward, nudges the ball on to Vrsaljko, who's continued his run, works over a low cross as well from the right-hand side, and saved by Lloris. So here are the two teams. Lloris is in goal for France. Pavard, Umtiti, Varane and Hernandez the defence, the midfield, Kante and Pogba, Matuidi, Mbappe on the right, and Griezmann behind Giroud. And here is Giroud, yet to have a shot on target in this World Cup. He plays the ball back, Griezmann with a shot, and easily saved by Daniel Subasic in the goal for Croatia. The defence in front of him, Vrsaljko on the right-hand side, Lovren and Vida the two central defenders, Strinic is the left-back, the midfield of Brozovic who holds, then Rebic on the right, Rakitic, Modric and Perisic, and Mandzukic is up front. Chris Waddle.
Yeah, well, we're just looking here. I've got to say, I was saying at half time there, I can't see France playing any worse than they did first half. I know they were 2-1 up, but they were very below performance what we're used to seeing a French team. I know they started the tournament not very well, but the last few games they've played well, been well organised, but they've actually done well when they've had the ball in first half. It's the poorest I've seen them play.
Well, they were helped by the first own goal in a World Cup final by Mandzukic after 19 minutes, and in fact it was the highest scoring first half in a World Cup final since 1974 when West Germany beat Holland. As Rebic takes a shot and it tipped over by Lloris with a waft in his left hand. He turned the ball behind for a corner, and Croatia once again threatened for another equaliser.
Well, that's Paul Pogba, doesn't win his tackle. Rakitic looks one way, passes the ball the other. I think Rebic was just claiming it was going over the bar, but Lloris had to take no risks and push the away corner, and they've been good so far, set pieces.
So Croatia, trailing by 2-1, are attacking the end where a lot of their supporters are. Modric with an outswinger. Lovren comes up from the back. Vida can't get there, nudged away, tried to be won back by Rebic, and it's a last touch off him off his right foot and runs out of play for a goal kick. The only side to lose a World Cup final when they were ahead at half-time, Argentina, all the way back in 1930. But as Sir Trevor Brooking said earlier, Chris Waddle, you've got a lot of sympathy for Croatia.
Listen, they've been the best side for me. They can't believe they're sitting there changing half-time 2-1 down. I'm sure the manager said, look, just do what you've done. You know, I haven't had any luck. Just keep doing what you've done. You can win this game, because, as I said just before there, France have been very disappointing.
Don't forget you can have your say after all of the ceremony with 606, Conor McNamara and John Motson, 08085 909 and 693 as Griezmann tries to come forward, stopped by Rebic on this right-hand side as Croatia play from left to right. Brozovic looks for a searching ball over the top. Perisic has made the run. Lloris quick thinking. There was a little touch there off the foot of Varane, and Lloris was outside of his penalty area. He couldn't pick it up and he just chested it.
Great ball. You know what I like about Croatia though? They play positive. It's all attack and they get it wide at times, but they're always looking to attack, get forward. It's not one of them teams who just park the bus. They try to get attack after attack after attack.
Strinic, Varane caught in possession by Mandzukic. Mandzukic into the penalty area, tried to find Perisic, and France have dealt with a danger. Pavar's clearance though has been hooked out of play, and Croatia have started the second half just as they did the first. Very well.
I wouldn't be saying it so long before they make a change, France, because they are all over the place at the minute. There's no midfield.
Modric trying to chip the ball into Rebic. He wins the ball back on the right hand side. Matuidi comes back at him, but it's gone out for a corner kick, and it's a very positive start for Croatia.
Set piece, very good at set pieces, of course, the threat all the time.
Brozovic currently unmarked at the far post. Mandzukic, Vida, in it comes now, pitched away by Griezmann, and in the end the effort from Vasalko was well wide. So 5 minutes into the second half, let's get the early thoughts from Sir Trevor Brooking and Dion Dublin.
Well, they just started where they left off. Croatia, excellent. Pushing forward, look a yard or two quicker when you think 3 extra times, and that way you might have been showing signs of tiredness. That they're looking good, and we've got to say, though disagree, with a couple of the goals that France have scored, it's been a dramatic final, like the whole tournament.
Mandzukic out to Rebic, and City comes across to deal with the danger, stuffs it out for a throw. Dion.
Yeah, France just want too much time on the ball. Croatia are energetic. Every time they get the ball, France have got a Croatian player in their face, making it uncomfortable. France have got it up a gear. They're not quite at it, France. Croatia are.
There's a variation as well to Croatia's play. Sometimes they play it long, sometimes they play it short, they can play it quick. They are mixing it up as well. They are by far the superior side.
Definitely. They control the game from the kick-off for me. First half with a better side, and the start of the second half the same. So, but I'm just looking at France. What can he do? Lamar, come on, Tolisso. They've got to change something. They just can't get a hold of the ball. Pogba's not touched it. Mbappe has been a spectator on that right wing.
Rebic has nudged the ball behind Vasalko. Matuidi gives it away. Vasalko gets it back. Croatia from left to right on the ball now. Brozovic forward of the centre circle. Everybody for France in those two-tone blue tops are behind the ball. Out to Rebic, near side the right. Vasalko with him as well if he wants it. They've lost it though. Challenge though was made by Mandzukic, so Croatia win the ball back again. Modric to Mandzukic. Mandzukic outside the penalty area. A diagonal ball into the box, cleared away by Pavar, the right back. Giroud holds it up towards Pogba. Pogba now comes forward, looks towards Mbappe. Vida's had to go across. Mbappe looks to go on the outside. Mbappe into the penalty area. Subasic with a save. The angle was very tight, but he made himself big and he made the block.
I just wonder,
hold on. We've got
what's going on here?
We've got 4 pitch invaders who have come on. 3 are wearing white shirts. Stewards in their luminous jackets have come to tackle them. And in fact, there is a Croatian player, is it Lovren, is remonstrating, and he actually got hold of the pitch invader. There's another one who's now high-fiving Mbappe, but a real serious lapse of security as another one on the far side is being dragged across the playing surface.
What goes through people's heads?
Well, that will be a source of embarrassment for the Russian authorities, and it's a shame.
It is.
It is a real shame because it has been an excellent World Cup.
Brilliant.
But that is a serious lapse in security. How 4, not just 1, 4 pitch invaders can come onto the playing surface like that and actually get so close to the players?
Well, obviously they'll look into it. I wouldn't. There's a substitution coming on, I think, Ian. Nzonzi.
So Steven Nzonzi is going to be coming on for France. They would seem to be dressed as policemen. Well, bearing in mind that some of the grounds, in particular St. Petersburg, it's so tight. Our vehicle in St. Petersburg, we had to get out of the car every time, and it was always checked, seriously checked. But that's a serious play. As the ball comes in, Lloris flaps at that one, and it goes behind. And it's a corner kick for Croatia.
No, you have to get up, Lloris. You ain't touched it. Get up. Yeah, there's no wrong with it. Get up. Ball comes in, another dangerous ball into offside. No, there's nothing wrong with it.
In fact,
offside it was.
Offside. John Murray thinks there were women who were dressed as police women. But
they all seem to be dressed the same. I don't know whether they might have been part of the opening ceremony and were close to the pitch that way. I don't know, because they all seem dressed with the white shirts and the outfit.
Kante is the player who's coming off, which, he's started all 7 games, N'Golo Kante, and the ubiquitous midfielder is being replaced by Nzonzi. So would you imagine that, is it a tactical change or is he not fit? Because he normally is someone who we say...
He's had a yellow, hasn't he? And he's got to get a grip in that midfield. And alright, he's been running around, he's the one who's trying to get it going, it's not happening, and he's had to change. I was surprised he went off, I'll be honest, but because he's had a yellow, it made a swayed decision for Deschamps.
Here is Griezmann 30 yards out from goal to Matuidi. Vasalko makes the challenge. Griezmann then closes it down from Brozovic. Out of play it goes for a throw. It could be quite unsettling, I would imagine, as a player though, when you get 4 people come onto the pitch and get so close to the individuals. Going to try and put it out to the back of everybody's mind.
Well, it didn't bother Lovren, did it?
Well, certainly didn't. He was very angry. Anyway, they'll be dealt with. Wouldn't want to be in their shoes at this particular moment in time as Brozovic tries to switch play out to Strinic on that far side. Back to the action. France lead Croatia by 2-1. BBC Radio 5 Live. We're also live across the World Service, the BBC World Service in Africa. As here we are in the Luzhniki Stadium. Rakitic forward of the centre circle. Modric. Vasalko comes forward. Bit of space on the right-hand side. Matuidi is back with him. Finds Modric once again, looking to orchestrate things as he did in the second half against England. Threads it through. Rebic waits for the ball to settle. Challenge made by Umtiti. No foul. Griezmann brings it away. Griezmann takes it away now from Lovren. Vida comes across, slides out of play. It goes for a throw. As Zlatko Dalic, the Croatian manager, patrols that technical area, getting ever so more animated as the French tricolours are waving away to our left-hand side. 11 minutes into the second half, it's still 2-1 to France.
Well, you just think along the game goes, Croatia will push on more and more, which will leave space for Griezmann and definitely Mbappe. I always wonder if he's thinking of putting Mbappe down the middle as they start chasing this game, and there's a lot of space, just one ball. We saw England use it very well for the first half with Raheem Sterling getting him behind very easily, so they might look at that and take Giroud off.
Modric tried a forward ball to send Rebic away. It was stopped and intercepted by the chest of Umtiti. Rolled the ball out now to Pavar over on that far side. The right back stops about 10 yards inside the Croatian half under overcast skies as Mbappe comes inside. Well, good challenge made by Brozovic to Mandzukic just outside the centre circle. Don't forget you can listen and watch to our commentary. We're synced with the pictures on BBC television, also through the BBC Sport website as Lovren to Brozovic, left of the centre circle. Rakitic goes down, challenge made by Giroud, free kick to Croatia, which Brozovic is going to take unless he leaves it for Modric. No, just roll the ball out to Strinic, the left back. Perisic, who scored a fine equaliser. Croatia looking to come from behind once again. Perisic with the cross gathered in by Lloris.
Decent ball on, he's just overhit it slightly, but there's not many teams play with wide men, is it, like Croatia, and it just shows the effect they have if you can get the service to them and they're willing to run and commit full-backs. They found it hard for us to deal with.
Well, Dion, Dublin, Croatia are still the better team.
Yeah, they are, and they're using the ball better. They just seem to have a better tempo. All their players seem to be braver. They know they've got very little time now to turn this round, so they've got to go for it. They really have.
Well, Rebic has played the ball out towards Perisic, and Perisic has Pavar backpedaling, and he sends over the cross, but it's over the head of Mandzukic, and it goes out of play. Just for that attack, Mandzukic was on the right-hand side, Rebic has gone central, Perisic still on the left-hand side, but as they look to an end, there'll be such a source of inspiration to see so many passionate Croats behind that goal away to our right.
Yes, it will be, and attacking your fans, it's always good. But I would say to Perisic, just stay out wide. You've got to beat the Pavar. Every time you've picked the ball up, you've gone basically past him. Just stay out. He's a great out ball for them.
Here is Pogba. Volleys the ball forward, and Mbappe now in a foot chase against Strinic, and Mbappe now gets there first. Right corner of the penalty area. Mbappe into the penalty box. Mbappe, the angle is tight, tries to work over the cross. It might fall to Griezmann. Griezmann on his back to goal. Sees at Pogba, first time shot. Back to Pogba once again, and Pogba drills the ball in. Pogba strikes it left-footed past Umtiti. France now have a 2-goal cushion, and France may be set for World Cup glory as they lead Croatia by 3-1, and Pogba, with his first goal here in Russia, gives France a 3-1 lead.
I've got to say, it's a great finish with his left foot. We don't normally see him kick a lot of the ball with the left foot, but it's a great out ball. Mbappe, that's what he's there for, that out ball, his pace. He can get out the full-back. He didn't fancy it, Strinic, did he, when he got one-on-one with him? He backed off, he thought, I'll hold him up. Vida's getting across to help him. Can he help us? He still comes inside, still drives to the byline, pulls it back. Griezmann does ever so well. Very unselfish. First shot's blocked, but Pogba, left foot, bends it. Keep actually steps to his left if he goes to strike it. Can't get back across to his right. And it's 3-1, and you would think that is game over.
Trevor, Dion?
Well, I think great credit. Mbappe pace did cause them problem, came inside, then went out, and then it was only half cleared. And to be fair, Griezmann did well to knock it back. The first shot was blocked by Modric, came on his left foot, and I've got to say, he curled one beautifully, very controlled, into the corner, which I wouldn't have seen before from his left foot. So let's give him a great credit. It was a wonderful finish.
Wadler, talk me through that ball, Wadler. What a pass. Is that pass in the tournament?
I know, great ball in the air, fantastic. When you've got somebody like that, can catch pigeons, then keep playing it.
It's a flattering scoreline though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, listen, I think Croatia's played very well, and if people don't watch this game and see the result, they'll go, well, we thought that would happen, France would beat them. No, Croatia's been the best side, and I would hope France after say more or less that. They haven't played well at all today, and they've got a 3-1 advantage. It's unbelievable.
1986 was the last World Cup final when there were 4 goals or more. That was Argentina against West Germany when it finished 3-2. There could be more now. As the cross comes in, Giroud still can't have a shot on target, and as it almost falls towards Griezmann, it was Brozovic who died in to turn the ball behind for a corner kick. And for the first time, Croatia really were unsettled at the back.
Yeah, I think the heads have dropped a bit here, and I've got to say, come off the tempo. Pogba, another glorious ball down the left. Matuidi swings one in, and then it's panic stations. It was a great clearance, because if it hadn't, that was falling at the feet of Mbappe from 6 yards out. They've got to get regrouped again now, Croatia. Go back to what they were doing.
There is still time. 61 minutes on the clock, 5 live. But France now lead by 3 goals to 1, and France have a corner kick that Griezmann's going to take. It's an in-swinger, headed away by Brozovic at the near post. Back out towards Griezmann on that far side. In fact, Griezmann will just let it run out of play for a throw.
You can see the body language of Croatia now. They can't believe it. You know, the 3-1 down the World Cup final, and they don't deserve to be. They'll be thinking of that goal, the pen, the own goal. Not their day, definitely not their day. As I said earlier, these have been the best side.
Conspiring against them with some of the decisions that have been made, as Giroud to Pavard, back to Giroud, headed up in the air by Strinic. Croatia need to clear, hooked away by Vida, little flick, need to try and regroup to Croatia as Rebic will run forward on that far side, the left, and he'll get a throw on that far side. 62 minutes played. BBC Radio 5 Live. Don't forget the Open Golf Championship, the 147th at Carnoustie. All the coverage on 5 Live on Thursday as the live sport continues on a day when Novak Djokovic won his 4th Wimbledon title, 6-2, 6-2, 7-6 against Kevin Anderson. The attendance here inside the Luzhniki is just over 78,000, 78,011. Croatia, a 3-1 down, out towards Perisic. On this right-hand side, level with the penalty area, off his chest. In comes the cross, headed away by Pogba, headed back by Perisic, and it'll be dealt with by Hernandez as Perisic leans into him. Referee says no foul. Hernandez waits for the free kick, has to spring back to his feet. Modric now will come forward, central area of the field. France have almost everybody back behind the ball. I still can't get over the fact that Giroud hasn't had a shot on target throughout the whole campaign. Chris is just nodding his head. Masalko, the right back, just in from the touchline, chipped into the penalty area off his left foot. Pavard covers the right back, headed away to Modric. Modric has Griezmann behind him. Lovren rolls it forward to Mandzukic, side onto goal, tries to use his strength, hold it, can he turn? No, he can't. He'll play it towards Masalko. Had to go a little bit behind him. Now Lovren. More or less every outfield player is in the France half, but this suits France now.
Yeah, France will just play counter-attack, try and get Mbappe, but Mbappe's doubling up with the full-back at the minute, so he's normally the outball.
Here is Rebic, has a sight of goal, shot charged down. Perisic back towards Rebic. If they can work it out towards the left, Strinic was trying to make a run round the back. Pavard though will clear off his weaker left foot, and Vido up against the bouncing ball against Giroud. His header is picked up by Matuidi. Mbappe's going to be away if Griezmann can try and play him in. He quickly made up a lot of ground. Griezmann though can't. He goes back into the centre circle. And Zonzi, substitute for Kante. Now to Hernandez, the left back, 6 yards inside the Croatia half. Matuidi and Pogba, little touch for Nzonzi, the Sevilla player, formerly of Blackburn and Stoke City of course, as Hernandez turns. Mandzukic slides in, he gets away from that particular challenge. The left back now picks out Mbappe. Mbappe shoots, and Mbappe scores! Kylian Mbappe, only the second teenager to score in a World Cup final. The last was Pelé in '58, but that surely seals it now. France 4, Croatia 1, low right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner.
Well, I've got to say, the goalkeeper to me today, I don't think he's died for one shot, has he, when they've come in? He went the wrong way for Pogba's. The first goal, the own goal, he could have done a lot better, I thought. This time, he picks it up. Where does he pick it up? He's got to be 20-25 yards out. It's a great run, the ball comes into him, nobody closes him down. He does ever so well, Hernandez, he just squares it across, opens himself up, goalkeeper stood middle of goal, good position, again he goes left. He thinks, he did it with Pogba's, he thinks he's going to bend it to the right, he pulls it back across his body, and it's not got in bottom corner, it's about 2 yards inside the post. Goalkeeper stood watching again.
4-1, France leading Croatia. Trevor, Dion.
Well, you know, the last few minutes, certainly France, since it's gone 3-1, they passed the ball a little bit sharper, quicker. You can see Croatia's heads are dropping a bit, and you began to feel a little bit concerned. We have now, as I say, if you look at, you know, quite a long 25 minutes to go, it's 4-1, and it could be the sort of game, you know, where you get another couple. It'd be a great shame because it's not been that sort of final. Croatia have got to keep their nerve and try and get back into this game.
Yes, you've got to pull the keeper out there, Wadler's right, but Vida's defending was woeful. He showed him onto his right foot. Why would you do that to a player with that quality? Really poor defending, really poor keeping.
You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Dion Dublin, Sir Trevor Brooking and Chris Waddle with us here inside the Luzhniki Stadium, where France now have a 3-goal cushion. And in fact, the biggest margin of any victory in a final is 3 goals. France-Brazil in 98, Brazil-Italy, which was 4-1 in 70, and 58 when Brazil beat Sweden. But now Croatia, they've just got to...
Don't lose the discipline.
Exactly.
Either. Just keep their heads, keep playing. Yes, you want to win. It's a World Cup final. You might never. Well, a lot of these players will never get a chance again. So I don't see them coming back here, and I feel sorry for them because they've definitely been the best side until the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
And remember when they made their debut in a World Cup in '98, they lost in the semi-final to France. They've gone one stage better. But once again, it's the French who are going to come out on top. We're midway through the second half. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. France 4, Croatia 1. And to take you through the full time, our correspondent John Murray.
Well, thanks, Ian. It has been an eventful FA Cup final. That's for a World Cup final. That is for sure. With those controversial incidents in the first half. But then France have just gone away from Croatia with those 2 goals. And here they have a free kick. Pogba, one of the goal scorers, takes it into the penalty area where Giroud tries to chest it off to Griezmann. But Croatia clear it out of play to the right-hand side, out of the penalty area. Here's Umtiti halfway inside his own half, who will play it all the way back to goalkeeper Lloris. Oh, Lloris has played it straight into Mandzukic, and Mandzukic just scored. What a terrible mistake by the French goalkeeper, and that gives Croatia a little bit of hope. Mandzukic's goal, it's 4-2.
What is Hugo Lloris thinking there? You're winning 4-1, no risk. Doesn't matter if it goes out the stadium over the advertising into the crowd. There's no risk. Just look, it's not on. Play it. Put your foot through it. Send it. Trying to be clever. Well done, Mandzukic. Didn't give up on it. 4-2. Game on.
A little bit memories of the goal that Benzema scored in the Champions League final. Goalkeeper, this time Lloris, far too casual with the ball at his feet. Mandzukic just closed him down as he was passing it out, and it effectively rolled into the net from 7 or 8 yards, Dion.
I don't get that. Umtiti's played the ball back to his keeper, and Umtiti has made an angle for his keeper as if to say, if you're in trouble, give it to me. You're in trouble, and he tries to take it round the centre forward. Listen, you be a keeper and let the players be players.
He actually did that against Sweden in the qualifying. He made a big rick there as well, remember?
That's right.
So they lost 2-1 there, but I don't think they're going to lose this one, but it makes the game very interesting.
However, it's 4-2, and we've now got the same scoreline as 1966. And here's Versalco on the right-hand side. Pavard just allows it to bounce past him and out of play for a throw into France in their own right-back position. However, that's not what France wanted, in any sense of the word.
He's very experienced. Look, he's send it. He's well getting to be played. He's looking across to the right-hand side. Just play it. Play it long. You're winning 4-1. You don't need to take any risk.
And that means Mandzukic has scored at both ends in this World Cup final. And that is his
first.
There's not another one that comes to mind. And that is his 3rd goal at the right end at this World Cup. Here come Croatia on the left-hand side. Cross which has actually gone out as it curled across, the ball going behind the line, so it's a goal kick to France. So it is 4-2. One other little piece of information, as Croatia are going to make a change, and it's Kramaric, the former Leicester striker, the number 9, who's now at Hoffenheim, who is going to come on, and he is going to replace Rebic. Well, Kramaric is certainly versatile, he's adaptable, and they've got to go for it. Croatia, with 20 minutes to play, they are 4-2 down in this dramatic World Cup final. And he's gone straight across Kramaric to speak to Rakitic on the other side of the centre circle. And Zonzi for France heads it forward. And then 2 Croatian players collide together, so Matuidi and Brozovic has stayed down. Matuidi, and the referee says, yeah, I'm going to stop that because it might be a head injury, although he is now getting to his feet, Brozovic. when the two of them came together. Yeah, the other piece of information, we had the pitch invasion, and there's a flash of lightning as well, so I guess we'll have thunder claps again in a moment or two here in Moscow. The four people who came onto the field, as I mentioned to Ian at the time, I did think that they all were women, and the controversial group Pussy Riot have claimed responsibility for this pitch invasion. Of course, they have a long history of this sort of thing in Russia, but certainly embarrassing for Vladimir Putin and Russia for that to happen here on this stage in the World Cup final. And they did appear to be dressed as members of the security services. They had uniforms and hats on, so there'll be more to come on that, no doubt. A stoppage because Mandzukic is down, and we're going to see another French change as well. France are going to make their second substitution, and Corentin Tolisso is going to come on.
Yeah, I would think he'll come on for Tweedy.
Yeah, who was a little bit of a...
Yeah, he was a bit of a risk.
Right, let's get another thought from Sir Trevor Brooking and Dion Dublin, who are just along the commentary box from us.
Well, when it went to 4-1, I thought it could be 5 or 6, and about 3 minutes later, it was like a school playground goal, wasn't it, where you're playing a tennis ball and somebody's trying to take liberties and dribble it out from the goal. I mean, it was just such a amateurish mistake, and Loris has had a good tournament. We will not believe what he's done, really, and I still can't think that they will get back into it, but it does mean one goal and suddenly there'll be a few nerves going around the ground.
No, Lloris is a great keeper. He's a very, very good keeper, but his team have just scored. His team have just put them out of sight, and you can't afford to take any risks. If he just does what the Waddler says, just put it into row Z, that's what you do. Regroup, go again, don't take any risks. Because Mandzukic has closed down 4 or 5 times in this game, and Lloris has got away with it. Not this time.
The score, this is 5 Live. It is France 4, Croatia 2. So France are closing in on a second World Cup triumph, a second World Cup success, but Croatia aren't completely out of it yet. Matuidi is off, the Juventus man, and he's been replaced by the Bayern Munich midfielder, Corentin Tolisso, who's winning his 14th cap in the World Cup final. France in the almost all dark blue kit with the lighter blue shoulders. Croatia with their colours, and the ball played back to Loris, with Perisic sprinting forward into the penalty area to try and close him down, and he very coolly this time just picks it up, the French captain, and launches one downfield. Lovren heads it away, but straight to Pogba. Pogba scored that well-struck goal with his left foot after his initial right-footed effort was blocked. Here's Griezmann winning a header. Back it comes into the central area to the newly arrived Tolisso. Now here's Giroud, the number 9, but he is dispossessed. And then there's a foul on Brozovic, and it's a free kick to Croatia, 10 yards inside their own half.
You do know that Mbappe will get player of the tournament now.
Will he? Yeah. Right. Here comes Vrsaljko down the right-hand side for Croatia. Now to Perisic on the right. Perisic beats Tolisso. Left-footed cross is headed away by Varane. Lloris came, but Varane took charge, and Croatia take possession again in the centre circle with Luka Modric. Big final push here, 15 minutes to go. Croatia now coming down the left-hand side. Strinić's ball across, a falling header away by Umtiti. He's nodded it out of the box to Giroud, and Griezmann and Giroud combine very cleverly on the edge of their area, but Griezmann's given it away. And so, Croatia have it again. Rakitic plays it back now out to Vrsaljko here on the right-hand side. Perisic is pulled wide, or Vrsaljko is going to hit a shot from 35-40 yards, which bounces wide.
No, I know he likes Giroud's experience, but I think they're feeling the pace a bit. I'd try and get Dembele on the right and put Mbappe down the middle, because Croatia's got to throw everything at. There's gaps down the sides, the full-backs are playing really high, there's space everywhere. If you've got somebody who can deliver it down the side in Mbappe's pace, surely can finish this game completely.
And Kramaric, Chris, has actually gone over to the left-hand side.
Yeah, they've swapped the 2 wide men, so Perisic is on this right-hand side.
Do you remember right at the start of this season, you and I, seeing Kramaric have a penalty saved by Simon Mignolet in the Champions League playoff game in Hoffenheim. Here we are, end of the season, and here he is again. France leading Croatia by 4-2. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Live from Moscow. We're on the BBC Sport app as well. We're across Africa on the BBC World Service, TSN in Canada, and also you can listen via the red button. And there will be a 606 at the conclusion of the World Cup final with Conor McNamara and John Motson. a new combination for the World Cup final 606. So I'll let you know when the lines are open. They may well be now. Here's Modric. Modric now running the ball away from his own penalty area, playing it forward. You can get in touch at BBC 606 on social media. You can text 85058 and the lines will actually be open to ring at full time. 4-2 to France. France have scored through an own goal, Mandzukic own goal, Griezmann with a penalty, Pogba and Mbappe. Perisic and Mandzukic have scored the goals for Croatia. And time is ticking. Brilliant scene here. This packed Luzhniki Stadium with over 78,000 people in it. And we're watching Strinic on the left-hand side. Strinic beats Mbappe, then plays the ball back centrally to Rakitic. Rakitic swings a high ball out towards the right-hand side, taken down by Versalco, who was backing away at the time. He's up against Hernandez. Ball at his feet, gives it to Modric. Modric dummied to cross, comes inside. Giroud then plays it into the area. It's headed away, and it comes out to the edge of the area. Rakitic with a shot. He's pulled it right across the face of goal and wide.
Wow, great play by Modric. To see how he just let the ball cross. He went to feint across it, just let it cross him onto his left foot, put a ball in. And that actually is a claim for a corner. They got the goal kick and it was a corner. There was a slight deflection.
We were just talking, you and I, weren't we? Was that yesterday or the day before, about how a certain Trevor Brooking used to let the ball run across him?
That Trevor could do that all day.
Trevor. Memories coming rolling back.
He used to get out into the turnstiles, out on the street, and had to pay to come back in, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't have the pace, did we? And then, but we could wrong foot them, and so they went the other way, and we took it away from them. I mean, that was it did just clip the. I think it was Nzonzi as the cross sort of went across the face of the goal. So it was a corner, but at the moment, yep, it's 4-2. They're within touching distance if they can get a goal, but just lacking that little bit of zest. They're tiring, aren't they, Croatia?
6 goals in the World Cup final, though. That actually tops off this World Cup, doesn't it, in terms of the excitement, drama, the goals that we've seen. Just the 1-1-0 in 64 1-0-0 in 64 matches as Varane plays it up to Giroud near the halfway line. But Croatia have got a lot of the ball at the moment, so France are going to make another change, and Nabil Fekir of Lyon, who we thought was going to move to Liverpool, he's going to come on, and that will be the 3rd substitution by Didier Deschamps, who is not far away from becoming only the 3rd man to be the, as Croatia played up towards the edge of the penalty area, and it's bounced away to the halfway line. It's bounced to Mbappe. Mbappe is up and running now. He's up against Vida and Lovren. He's running at them. He's running round Vida to the right, but he slips at the crucial moment, and Vida has got possession back. Yes.
There was a buzz there, John, when he picked it up, didn't it? I think the crowd in Landry did anticipate that he was going to go all the way and get a shot at least on target, but he slips.
We'll see another Croatian change as well, and Piazza, the left winger, is going to come onto the field as well. Here is Versalco, another rumble of thunder above us in Moscow. Versalco on the right hand side plays it with his left foot back towards Brozovic, and now Kramaric, one of the substitutes, runs the ball out towards the left hand side. Strinic gets a touch on this. Here's Rakitic, 2 substitutes still waiting to come on. Rakitic running right through the middle with it, but running into congestion. However, Croatia take up possession again. Here's Modric, 30 yards from goal. Modric cuts inside, and Nzonzi, he's on his left foot. He slips the ball through. Now it's worked out by Perisic to the right-hand side to Versalco. France, lots of bodies in blue shirts inside their own penalty area. 4-2 France lead. Here's Lovren now, crossing low into the penalty area. Went a long way, but it ran into the path of Umtiti, who was able to strike it downfield. And apparently now we've had 169 goals at this World Cup. Only 2 have had more. France 98 and 2014 with 171. Are we going to get another 3? No. Here comes the first substitution. It's going to be Giroud. I'm afraid his World Cup is going to end. He might be a World Cup winner, but the number 9 for France ending without a single shot on target.
Well, what they do is Kiel come to him, then pack that midfield, play slightly right, and then Mbappe for me will go down the middle.
I mean, he's played a part, hasn't he, Giroud, even though he's not scored. But he'll be disappointed.
Oh, listen, you know what you get from him. He's honest, puts himself about, tries to link the play. There's a lot of good things for the side, that's why he's playing, but just as you say, he's not had a shot on target.
And I don't think he has had an attempt. Has he
Not
had
in
an
the World
attempt
Cup.
in this game?
No,
Either on target or off target?
no.
So that is the third change for France. Croatia still haven't made theirs. Here's the ball into the penalty area. Well, I've said that they haven't made another change. Yes, they have. Strinic has come off. And as I say, Piazza has come on. The number 20 from Juventus. So here's Kramaric, 25 yards from goal. Kramaric through to Piazza with a touch, but it runs away from him. Right side of the penalty area, the aerial ball, he couldn't get it down, and it's behind for a goal kick.
They're staying there, keeping at it though. You've got to give them credit, haven't they? They've really stuck at it, and we're going into last eight minutes. They've stuck at it. You cannot be questioning their attitude, how they've approached this game. They've been brilliant.
And there'll be lots of discussion after the game because of the way that the first two French goals came. Griezmann winning a free kick, which should never have been given as a free kick, and then taking it himself, and it was headed in by Mandzukic for an own goal, and then the controversial penalty given for handball against Perisic on the through the video assistant referee, and the debate will be long over whether that should have been a penalty or not. There will be a 606. Get in touch at BBC 606 here on 5 Live. But France 4, Croatia 2, and a free kick out on the left with. Well, we're in the 83rd minute now here. Croatia attacking towards all of those supporters in the red and white checked shirts. Oh, they wanted to take a quick free kick, and the referee says, no, you've got to bring it. And Rakitic actually falls over theatrically, a little bit like Louis van Gaal on the touchline at Old Trafford on that occasion, in exasperation that the referee didn't allow them to take the quick free kick. So it will be delivered into the edge of the penalty area. 84th minute. A third Croatia goal now. Be interesting. Here's the delivery from Rakitic, but it's right down the throat of Lloris, who catches it securely.
You're looking for a good delivery, aren't you? Just to ask some questions. Mandzukic goes down.
Players down, so let's bring in Dion Dublin again. Time running out for Croatia. Dion.
Yeah, it seems to be. It's a pity really. They've played with more energy for sort of 70% of this game, but just a little bit of luck and a little bit of quality as well from Mbappe and Pogba. Great finish by both of them, and France have I think France will get over the line now, but Croatia shouldn't be too downhearted. They've really given this a go, and yeah, there's only 83 minutes we're on. There's probably about another 10 minutes with extra time as well, with the added minutes. Croatia will still push, they'll still get the ball in the box as much as they can.
The injured players are now okay, they're on their feet, and it's a throw into France on the far side. So France closing in on becoming world champions for the second time. Throw-in is taken, but Croatia back in possession near the halfway line. On the day Novak Djokovic won Wimbledon again. Last we heard, Eddie Pepperell was winning the Scottish Open Golf. This time next week we'll be bringing you commentary on the final afternoon at Carnoustie in the Open Championship. Listen to that, the build-up all week, and then coverage 5 Live Sports Extra from Thursday morning. But here the World Cup final, Croatia knocking the ball around inside the French half, trying to find that third goal that would reduce the deficit to only 1. Delivery into the penalty area, Varane gets up, stretching, heads it away. Lovren then nods it forward. Rakitic plays it back towards the halfway line to Vida, and now Versalco to the right hand side. Piazza is there. Piazza taking on and beating Hernandez, and then playing it behind Versalco, and it's through, rolling agonisingly over the white line for a French goal kick.
I've just looked at the possession, John. 62% Croatia's had, 38 France in the 4-2 up. But again, Didier Deschamps say, I got it right tactically, and a lot of people will say, well, you should have lost it because Croatia's been a better team, but he'll say we've scored 4 and they've scored 2.
Croatia consistently punching above their weight in terms of the population, in terms of the youth of the actual country, only independent from the former Yugoslavia in the early 90s, famously semi-finalists in 98 in France, that eventful semi-final when Lilian Thuram scored the 2 goals, and now here finalists for the first time. But it looks as though that banner said above the Croatian fans before kick-off, if not now, when? Because You never know. You might never have another opportunity, or at least for a very long time.
I don't think a lot of these players will. They're all in others. Mandzukic, Modric 32, Rakitic 30.
Therefore, now's the time. They have to come up with something quite stupendous. Trailing 4-2. Pogba takes this free kick. It's headed away, but it comes back for the French. Mbappe waiting. The shot from the angle. Subasic goes to his right. Fekir with the shot from probably 25 yards given the angle, and Subasic saved it comfortably. When you say, Chris, about Subasic, you know, with the shots that have beaten him today, you know, there was a question over a hamstring injury. I don't know whether
he's went the wrong way, John. He's anticipated before they kicked it, and it's cost him. Even the first one off Mandzukic, he didn't really make the attempt to go for it. He sort of thought it's gone away, they're gone high, and it was in the back of the net.
They haven't given up yet. Certainly this little man won't give up. Luka Modric, who's won his last 10 finals. Of course, Real Madrid, his teammates, Champions League winner 4 times in the last 5 years. Here comes Croatia with a cross from the left-hand side, but far too close to Loris, who's able to get up high and make the catch.
I think that's it now. I think looking at what, 2.5.
You think they're blown out?
Listen, they'll keep going, Croatia. That's the way they are, and they've been a credit to their country today. They've been brilliant. I cannot fault them. They've just been very, very unlucky, really, and that's, you can't say France haven't played well. Let's be honest.
Hugo Lloris clearing it downfield. You know, Hugo Lloris has won only one senior trophy in his career, which was the French Cup with Lyon back in 2009. Might be about to become a world champion. So that for him will certainly be worth the wait. Versalco on the right hand side. We are now in the 88th minute. 4-2 to France. Ball on the left hand side. Kramaric gives it back out there towards Vida, who's effectively on the left wing, the central defender. Kramaric pulls it back, plays it centrally. Rakitic is going to have a drive goalwards, but it whizzes away wide and high as well, and hits the advertising hoardings, and he runs his fingers through his blonde hair.
Well, it's worth a strike. Packed defence by France. There's not a lot of room in that box, so why not? It's 20, 23, 25 yards out. Alright, he's not hit the way he wants, but they're a good side. They're a really good side, Croatia. The way they move the ball, they're very positive. They play with width. They've got players who are very clever on the ball. And they really are. I feel for them today. I think they'll give everything. They've been really unlucky.
They've played some very good football, but things have not gone their way. Officialdom has not been kind to them. Here's Nzonzi playing the ball towards the right-hand side, where Fekir has his legs taken away from him. It looked like a free kick, but it's not given. The referee has allowed quite a lot to go, and crucially as well, he was duped really by Griezmann for the free kick that led to the opening goal. Croatia back in possession. We're in the 90th minute. They've got to score 2 goals without reply. 3, maybe 4 minutes of time to be added on. We'll see in a moment. And now it's been brought forward from the back, but it's been lost there, and Pogba is fouled by Brozovic, who just drives the ball away downfield in frustration, and France have a free kick.
Well, I think I'm surprised actually how much they've held their tempers today, because I've seen these really go a lot of their players, but they've stuck at it.
And I think it's beginning to wind down. The 4th official will have his board very shortly. He's just preparing it down there. The Dutchman, Bjorn Kuipers, has got it in his hand, and he's walking forward now. And Croatia, their supporters, it's the Croatian fans you can hear now as they see 5 minutes. Croatia have got 5 minutes to score 2 goals to take this to extra time. But such a big effort that they've put in, remember, having gone to extra time in their 3 previous matches. And so this is asking a lot, as Tolisso is caught there by Versalco, and it's a free kick to France just inside the Croatian half, and France are going to be in no hurry at all. I think it's going to I can't see this Croatian comeback, Chris.
No, I can't. They're getting a bit frustrated. France have played the ball, and they're just slowing the game. We're running it right down now. A bit of experience here, but yeah, you feel it. As I say, what can you say? They've been very hard done by, and
they're slowing the game down. Hernandez taking an age to take this throw in up towards Griezmann. Croatia get the ball back. Brozovic plays it across. Tolisso just has a little go back at Brozovic. And now Vida bringing it forward. He looks like a warrior, doesn't he? Fearsome looking man. Vida to the halfway line. Oh, and then it's given away so carelessly, and it's given away to Mbappe on the halfway line, and Mbappe will play it out towards the right hand side. Pogba is there, and then Pogba delayed, and that meant that the defenders could come and get a touch, and it runs back towards Subasic.
Oh, wasted opportunity there. Mbappe rolls it into Pogba, and maybe he should have went by himself. He's got the pace.
Modric doing all he can. Little foray forward from him. He claims he was fouled. Free kick not given, so Griezmann's going to take it down the left wing, but I think he might be heading to the corner flag. Oh, and then in slides Vasalko and takes out a flying Griezmann, sends him sprawling. Free kick.
Yellow, that one, isn't it?
Free kick to France.
Teammates as well, aren't they?
Griezmann, yeah, and Vasalko. Griezmann, he's staying a little bit longer as well, isn't he? At Atletico
I don't think he's touched him, to be honest. I think he's not touched him at all. He saw it coming and he just hurdles over him. There's no contact. Look, it's nothing. It's called experience, and I'll waste some time.
Absolutely, it's a free kick all day long.
Why don't referees know this?
That's a yellow card for Vasalko. So that's the first yellow card of the final for Croatia, who've been shown more yellow cards than any other team at this World Cup. Free kick, and there's no one in the penalty area for France. Leading 4-2. The referee says, come on, take it. Oh, and Mbappe's found Pogba, and Pogba miskicked 8 yards out. That could have been 5-2.
What a chance that is. What is Croatia doing? I know it's the end of the game and they're a bit tired, but you can't just let somebody run into the box like that. And what an opportunity that was.
Run into the box.
Well, jogged in, but what an opportunity that is. Miskicked completely.
4-2 to France. 2 minutes to play. Griezmann taking on a couple of Croatians on the halfway line, but Vida recovered. Lovren plays it forward. Croatia come again. Piazza waiting on the edge of the penalty area. This attack down the left flank, but challenged by Pavard, the young right back, who's very much played a part in this World Cup. That fantastic goal that he scored against Argentina, remember. Croatia again in possession. Pogba blocks it. It's a free kick that is given Croatia's way for a trip on Rakitic. It's almost over, Chris, this World Cup. This great World Cup that we've enjoyed tremendously.
Chance Pogba missed.
Croatia have taken a quick free kick to Perisic, but it's going to be shepherded over the dead ball line for a goal kick, and Lloris won't hurry. So we're in the 4th minute of added time. This World Cup, Chris, we've been all over this part of Russia, haven't we? We've seen the sun set over the Black Sea in Sochi. We were tormented by the flies in Volgograd. We got stuck in a cable car over the Volga in Nizhny Novgorod. Things got a bit Finsky in St. Petersburg. They got a bit jiggly in Samara. And we witnessed England with their big high and their big low here in Moscow. It's been great fun, hasn't it?
Well, it sounds like it. But yeah, it has actually. Really enjoyed it. Great World Cup.
And a final which has a scoreline of 4-2. Absolutely agonising for Croatia as the ball is whacked away by Varane out of play. They won't take this lying down, Croatia. If half the things I've heard from Adrian Chiles are to be believed over the course of the last couple of days, he will be very downcast, as will the whole of Croatia. Ball in from the left-hand side, but Lloris comes and catches it. And I think there are only seconds left. Lloris climbs to his feet.
In about 5 seconds, John. By the time he kicks us up the field, I'm sure the referee will blow.
And there is the final whistle. It's Vive la France in Moscow. And on come the French substitutes. And they are hugging one another. There are fevered celebrations in the centre circle. Celebrations too for Didier Deschamps, the coach of France. Only the 3rd man after Mario Zagallo and Franz Beckenbauer to win the World Cup as a player and coach. They used to call him the water carrier. Well, the water carrier can get out the champagne now, and he punches the air. And France have done it. They've won the World Cup for the 2nd time. And Croatia, they will be so unhappy about the way that their first World Cup final unfolded and the way that decisions and things conspired against them. But the French, well, they can put another star above the cockerel on the shirt.
Well, I've got to say congratulations to France. They've managed this tournament very, very well. I don't think they've been the best team to watch, but they know how to win football matches. I think they've rode the luck today, to be honest. Croatia, for me, better side. You know, when you watch this game again, if you ever do, Croatia should have won this game, but they haven't. Well done, France, but I do feel for Croatia. They say they've been hardly done by, but they've conceded 4 goals today, and what a good game, and I do feel for them.
Chris Waddle, thank you very much for your company around Russia over the past few weeks. There's more to come from Sir Trevor Brooking and Dion Dublin as well. For the record, France winning it with goals from a Mandzukic own goal, Griezmann with a penalty, Pogba and the 19-year-old Mbappe, Perisic and Mandzukic scored for Croatia. But it is France again. We've talked for so long about how it was coming home. Well, if you remember, it was the idea of the World Cup of Jules Rimet. So it is coming home. France, champion du monde. France 4, Croatia 2.